Groblersdal Magistrate's Court. This is in Limpopo. They've denied bail to 2 suspects in a case that's believed to be racially motivated. The accused, Pieter, Stephan, Greef, allegedly set a dog on their security guard employee. They have been charged with assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm. So for the latest, we're going to cross to our reporter, Pimani Baloyi, for the latest. Pimani, if you can hear me, it's over to you.
Good afternoon, Lizel, and good afternoon to our viewers. There is jubilation and chanting here outside the Groblersdal Magistrate Court, where Magistrate Mashele has just handed down his ruling on the bail application of Mr. Groenewald and Mr. Greef. As you stated, Lizel, Magistrate Mashele denied that bail application, but it was basically based on 2 reasons. This is a judgment that ran for almost an hour, from 2 o'clock to about 3 o'clock, where the magistrate was chasing time because there is load shedding that was scheduled for 3 o'clock. You may recall, Lizel, court actually started at 11 instead of 9 due to load shedding, and right now again, Groblersdal is in darkness due to load shedding. So part of the main two reasons that the magistrate gave when he denied bail, the first one was the fear that the 2 suspects may interfere with state witnesses. He retold a story that the investigating officer told on the stand, where he said one state witness was allegedly kidnapped, taken to Middleburg and brought back to Groblersdal and asked to retract this statement on that case. But the second issue was specifically pertaining to the Mr. Groenewald, where he has 2 previous convictions for murder and 1 for attempted murder, and also the state's reiteration that between the time of his initial arrest, when the crime was committed in 1990, and the time that he was eventually tried for that matter in 2002, it seems he had absconded and no one could understand where he was. So the magistrate saying there is a high likelihood that Mr. Groenewald may also abscond while awaiting trial if released on bail. But to get reaction, as I stated, Lizel, there is a hive of activity, and political parties and just residents here are reacting outside. Firstly, we'll get the reaction of the ANC, the regional secretary of the ANC here in Sekhukhune. Sir, how do you react to this denial of bail?
Our first reaction to this matter is that we are quite very relieved, and our confidence into our courts have just been boosted, and the immediate reaction, like I said, we are quite very happy about these outcomes.
You've been here from day one. What is your message to people who would be perpetrators of similar crimes? What's your message as the ANC in this community?
You know, even before we say to perpetrators, all what we want to say, want to call for all white people who stays in Groblersdal, who are peace-loving South Africans. We are saying to them, can they please come and join hands with all of us? Because we know there are still good white people who stays in this town. Of course, the fact of the matter is that there are those who think they are more human than others.
Thank you so much. That's the ANC in Sekhukhune. But I'm also joined by the SACP in the region in Sekhukhune. Sir, let's talk about your reaction. They've been denied bail.
No, I think we are much appreciating the magistrate when they denied the bail to the accused. Because you know what was happening around Groblersdal. We cannot allow the situation where the Boers, some of the Boers, they want to make this town to be a Boer town. We can't allow that situation. We want to deal with that, and we want to condemn that racist who are raising flags around Groblersdal. This town is for all the people of South Africa. It's not belong only from the Boers. We condemn that thing. It must not repeat again.
Thank you so much. That's the regional secretary of the SACP here in Sekhukhune. But now I'm joined by a union that represents farm workers, SAFTU. Sir, from the province of Limpopo, just tell me, how do you react to this court ruling?
Look, we are very relieved by the ruling, and again we will be more glad if we will be able to get a conviction and a longer term of prison. However, we must reiterate that the disappointment registered by the presiding officer with regard to the deployment of junior police officer and junior NPA officer to this case shows lack of taking this case very seriously. And the other thing, just a word of advice to our comrades who are gathered here, because we've got a lot of political parties here. This thing is not about one particular party. It's not about ANC or EFF or DA or anything for that matter. But their fragmentation is very much worrying, because others are singing that side, others are singing that side. That's why, as a black nation, people don't take us serious. So it's about time that when an issue is a community issue, we forget about our political affiliation and come and register our dissatisfaction and our consent to that issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That's a representative of SAFTU here in Limpopo. Lizel, I'm going to take our last guest who represents Sanko, a community structure. Say, what's your reaction?
Greetings, afternoon. Viewers at home. We are very much happy about the outcome of the court today, because this town cannot be owned by a certain group. We are one thing, and it's a lesson to all white people who are not taking us serious. Therefore, we'll be waiting on the 11th of March. We'll be here and the court will continue. But nonetheless, we need to record what the presiding officer has just said about the junior NPO and then the junior police officers. Therefore, it's very much important the supervisor of them must take this matter into consideration.
Thank you so much. That's a representative of Sanko who is speaking on behalf of that organization. Lizel, as you can see behind me, there's a high police visibility outside this court precinct, but there's also a lot of chanting. As my guests were actually stating, there is fragmentation where you see two separate groups chanting separately. But Lizel, I just want to touch on two separate matters that the magistrate spoke about as he delivered his judgment. The first one was the assertion by the defense that the presence of politicians and, the ministers coming to this court might have influenced this outcome of this judgment and trying to push. And the judge was very clear to say, the magistrate was very clear to say, he is not going to be, he's impartial, he's not going to be influenced by anyone. What was happening outside the court did not influence him at all. And if anybody attempted to, he would have addressed that. But the second issue, a point that my guests both touched on, was about the magistrate being unhappy, stating that he feels a police officer who stated under oath that he had been had been a detective for less than 2 years was brought to be the investigating officer on this matter. He also stated that the fact that the prosecutor also was a junior prosecutor when there were two senior prosecutors stationed in this magistrate court, and also other senior people that could have been forwarded to prosecute this matter, also did not sit well with him, advising that stakeholders who are responsible for this should ensure that experienced police officers take on cases that he said are serious. Experienced prosecutors take on cases that he also feels are very serious. So the matter has been postponed to the 11th of May, Lizel, but we will see from that point how it has happened. But in conclusion, they've been denied bail.